Before man ever walked the earth, before the mountains rose, before water flowed in the rivers, there was another creation. A creation made from flame, invisible to the human eye, but alive, aware, and powerful. They are called the Jinn, beings of fire and energy, living among us, yet unseen, breathing in a world that lies beside ours, a world that touches this one, but cannot be entered by ordinary men. This is their story. From the moment they were created to the time their flames are finally extinguished. Long before Adam was formed from clay, the throne of Allah was above the waters, and the angels glorified their Lord without end. Then came a command. We created the Jinn before from the smokeless flame of fire. Surah Al-Hijr. In a realm unseen by human eyes, the first sparks of the Jinn were born. Their bodies were not flesh or bone, but light and heat, the pure edge of fire. From that flame came thought. From that thought came desire. And from desire came disobedience. They were given freedom, just like mankind would later be given. The freedom to believe or to reject, to build or to destroy. When they first filled the earth, they lived in harmony. They roamed vast forests, deep oceans, mountains that reached the clouds. They spoke languages unknown to angels. They built palaces of flame and cities of whispering winds. Their world was alive with beauty and movement, rivers that shimmered, skies that never went dark, and winds that carried voices of fire. Among them were those who believed in their Creator and worshipped Him in humility. And there were those whose hearts filled with pride. For thousands of years the Jinn ruled the earth. They were countless, living in tribes and nations, each with their own leaders, their own symbols, and their own pride. Some lived near the seas. They were drawn to the coolness of water. Others lived among the sands. They shaped dunes with their hands. Some made their homes inside mountains, where molten rivers glowed beneath their feet. And some lived high in the sky, soaring between the clouds like sparks of lightning. Their world was one of wonder, but it did not last. Pride entered their hearts. Power became their desire. They began to fight each other, destroying the balance of the world. The earth trembled under their wars, oceans boiled, forests burned, and mountains cracked. When their bloodshed filled the land, Allah sent the angels to punish them. It was a war like no other, fire against light. The angels descended from the heavens with the force of divine power, striking the rebellious Jinn, driving them into the corners of the world, into the deserts, the caves, the seas, and the shadows. Those who survived fled and hid. The believers among them remained humble, worshipping their Lord in secret. But the proud ones plotted revenge. Among those survivors was one Jinn named Iblis, who was given a place among the angels because of his devotion. He was honored until the day Allah created Adam. And when he refused to bow, his arrogance revealed the true nature of his heart. From that day, Iblis became the father of the Shayateen, and his followers swore to mislead mankind forever. After their rebellion, the Jinn were separated from human eyes. They were forced to live in a parallel realm, a world beside ours, unseen but near. You cannot see them, but they can see you. They walk through your homes, rest in your rooms, and whisper when you are alone. They live in places where humans rarely go, in ruins, abandoned houses, dark forests, graveyards, deep seas, and deserts. When the night falls, they spread across the earth. The Prophet, peace be upon him, warned, "Do not go out when darkness falls, for the Shayateen spread out at that time." Some Jinn stay close to humans. They live in our houses, feeding on leftovers, crumbs, and bones. That is why Muslims are told to say Bismillah when eating or drinking, because food without the name of Allah becomes food for them. They move faster than the wind. They can climb walls and ceilings as easily as you walk the ground. Some can appear as animals, dogs, snakes, cats, or even shadows of smoke. Some can speak, and some only whisper. Their world has laws, families, emotions, and death, just like ours, but hidden. Jinn live long lives, far longer than humans. Some live hundreds of years, some thousands. Their bodies, made of subtle fire, do not age like ours. They weaken slowly, fading over centuries. They have males and females. They fall in love, they marry, and they give birth. Their children grow quickly, learning from their elders the arts of movement, illusion, and speech. In their societies, every tribe has a leader. Some tribes live in peace, some in war. Some worship Allah, others follow Iblis. Each group speaks its own dialect, and their cities, though unseen, are vast and complex. They build their homes from what exists in their dimension: flame, wind, and sound. To them, human materials are heavy and slow. The jinn who believe pray in their way, facing the same Qibla. They recite words of remembrance and seek forgiveness, just as believers among mankind do. But the rebellious ones reject all that is sacred. They mock prayer and seek to disturb the hearts of humans. Some of them form families near human households. They may attach themselves to a specific home or person. That is why the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught that saying Bismillah before entering a house keeps the jinn out. If one forgets, the Shayateen enter with them and share their meal, their rest, and even their dreams. The jinn have abilities far beyond human limits. They can travel vast distances in seconds, lift objects heavier than mountains, and vanish into thin air. They can pass through walls, doors, and even bodies. Some can whisper into the hearts of humans, planting doubt, fear, or desire. These whispers are called waswasa. They are shapeshifters. Some take the form of animals. Some appear as humans in dreams or illusions. Some create voices from nothing, footsteps, whispers, or cries in the night. But they have rules. They cannot cross divine boundaries. When a believer mentions Allah, recites Ayatul Kursi, or keeps wudu, the jinn cannot harm him. The remembrance of Allah burns them like fire. Their strength depends on their type. Some are small and weak, barely aware. Some are powerful and ancient, ruling over entire tribes. Over time, scholars described the main kinds of jinn. 5 great groups that dominate their world. 1. The Ifrit. These are the strongest of all jinn, fierce, intelligent, and proud. They are mentioned in the Qur'an itself. An Ifrit from among the jinn said, "I will bring it to you before you rise from your place." Surah An-Naml. Ifrits are giants among their kind, made of the hottest fire. They are cunning and dangerous, often used by magicians to perform dark deeds. They can move objects across worlds in moments, appear in royal halls, or shake the heart of a man with a whisper. Their bodies glow faintly red, and they prefer the deserts and deep caves. 2. The Marid. Marids are sea jinn, vast, powerful beings that live in the oceans and seas. Their name means rebellious. They are arrogant, often associated with storms and waves. They can control water and air, and are said to guard hidden treasures beneath the sea. Sailors of old feared them, saying they could sink ships or lead them astray with false lights. 3. The Shayateen. These are the devils, the followers of Iblis. Their only purpose is to mislead mankind. They whisper, confuse, and tempt. They make sins look beautiful and obedience seem heavy. Every human has one Qareen, a companion jinn who whispers evil suggestions day and night. But those who pray and remember Allah weaken their Qareen until it cannot speak. 4. The Ghul. The ghouls are the wanderers of the dark. They live in ruins, forests, and graveyards. They appear as animals or humans to frighten travelers. They can mimic voices of loved ones, call your name in the dark, or make you lose your way. They feed on fear, and sometimes flesh. That is why Muslims are told not to travel alone at night and to recite protective verses when walking through lonely places. 5. The Jinn. The Jinn are the weakest among the Jinn. They are small, mischievous, and often found around homes and children. They play with objects, cause noises, or move small things from one place to another. They rarely harm, but they disturb. When Qur'an is recited in a house, they flee quickly, for they fear the sound of truth. Just as humans have believers and disbelievers, the Jinn do too. In Surah Al-Jinn, among us are the righteous, and among us are others less so. We follow different paths. Some of them pray and obey Allah. They fast, they give charity among their kind, and they teach their children faith. These Jinn live peacefully, avoiding humans. They listen to Qur'an recitation and join in remembrance from afar. Others mock the truth and follow Iblis. They make pacts with magicians, helping them perform illusions, spreading lies, and breaking families. Such Jinn sell their obedience for evil power, but their reward is misery and endless war. The believing Jinn call themselves Muslimin al-Jinn, and they fight against the Shayateen when they can. Hidden battles happen in their realm, wars unseen by human eyes. When Qur'an is recited with sincerity, the believing Jinn are strengthened, while the disbelieving ones weaken and flee. The world of the Jinn is filled with nations and empires. Some live under the rule of kings, others under warlords. Their lands stretch from deserts to seas, from mountains to the skies. Legends speak of great cities built by the Jinn before the time of humans, towers of light and fire, guarded by invisible armies. When humans began to multiply on Earth, the Jinn retreated to the unseen realm, but their wars continued. They fight with forces of wind and fire. Their weapons are made of energy, invisible spears, storms, and lightning. When they clash, thunder echoes in the human sky. Some scholars say that sudden storms and whirlwinds are signs of their battles. The Ifrit and the Marid have long been rivals. Fire against water, pride against pride. Their wars shake both worlds, though mankind remains unaware. At times, rebellious Jinn have tried to cross fully into the human realm, but their entrances are sealed by angels. Only a few ever manage to enter deeply, those who possess or haunt humans. These are usually Shayateen or Ghouls, acting in hatred or revenge. Since the creation of Adam, the Jinn have watched mankind with jealousy and curiosity. Some admire humans for their short yet meaningful lives. Others hate them for taking their place as rulers of the earth. Every human has a Jinn companion, the Qareen, assigned from birth. It whispers evil, but it cannot force anyone. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said that his own Qareen became Muslim and no longer commanded him except for good. Jinn can affect human emotions. They can make one feel sudden anger, sadness, or temptation. They can influence dreams or cause illusions of voices and shadows. But they can only harm those who forget the remembrance of Allah. For every verse recited, a wall of light rises between man and Jinn. Sometimes, humans and Jinn meet through magic. A magician calls upon Jinn by disobeying Allah, through blood, impurity, and lies. The Jinn agree to serve him, but only after he rejects what is sacred. They may bring him information, illusions, or small powers, but they destroy his soul. This dark bond never ends in peace. Some Jinn, fascinated by humans, fall in love with them. They may whisper to them in dreams or try to appear as humans. Such attachments are dangerous, often leading to harm and madness. To be protected, one must live with faith, prayer, and purity. Though made of fire, the Jinn eat and drink. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said their food is the bones of animals over which the name of Allah was mentioned, and their animals eat droppings. That is why he forbade Muslims from using bones or droppings for cleaning, for those are the provision of the Jinn. They do not eat as humans do. They absorb the energy or smell of food. When a person eats without saying Bismillah, the Shayateen share in that meal. Some Jinn prefer the fragrance of burned incense or certain herbs. Others are drawn to impurity, garbage, blood, or filth. They live where people neglect cleanliness or remembrance. They sleep little, moving mostly at night. Daylight weakens many of them. When dawn rises and the adhan is called, the Shayateen scatter, screaming at the sound of the call to prayer. Though they live long, the Jinn are not immortal. Every fire must one day fade. They age slowly, their flames dimming over centuries. Some grow weaker and retreat to deserted places to live their final days. When their time comes, the fire within them collapses. Their bodies turn into fine smoke, fading into the air. Their souls are taken by the angels assigned to their kind, unseen even to them until that moment. Some die in battles with other Jinn. Some die in moments of divine punishment, burned by lightning or swallowed by the earth. Some are destroyed when they dare to cross heavenly boundaries. When a Jinn dies, their tribe mourns them in silence. No graves, no tombs, only whispers and smoke carried by the wind. Their children continue their line, inheriting their knowledge, their grudges, and their faith. And so their cycle continues, generation after generation, unseen yet near. The Jinn have lived since before time and will live until the final hour. They watch us as we sleep, move among us in our cities and deserts, and whisper to our hearts. They laugh when humans fear shadows, and cry when they see the faithful remember Allah. They are not myths, they are not ghosts. They are a creation with purpose, a test for mankind, and a reminder of the unseen world. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The shaitan flows through the son of Adam like blood." Yet he also taught us that remembrance of Allah burns them away. When the Qur'an is recited, their whispers vanish. When Bismillah is spoken, their doors close. When prayers rise, their flames tremble. So the story of the Jinn is not one of fiction, but of reality unseen. They were created from fire, just as humans were from clay. They walk among us though we do not see them. They marry, eat, sleep, fight, and die, as every creation must. Among them are believers who bow to Allah in the silence of the unseen, and among them are devils who curse His name and whisper evil into human hearts. Their world continues beside ours, sometimes touching, sometimes colliding, until the day comes when both worlds will meet again under the command of their Creator. But that is another story. For now the flame still burns, unseen, unheard, in the shadows of the world we call our own.